that's how they're growing. And I've had people that I've been working with, they were working with me before I went out on my own. When I went out on my own, there's like, I'm coming with you, I'm staying with you. And I've seen their businesses grow over the past few years. And I feel a part of that growth because I'm able to give them the information to help them grow. Mm-hmm. And when I watch a small business go from A to B to C and keep going and growing, that's so rewarding. That's just an amazing feeling to be able to say, I was there and I helped them get there.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
You have, because you're partnering with them in the success of their business. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. What do you think your keys of success are?
The key to success for me, in my opinion, is just being honest, being truthful, being honest, telling people what you see. Sometimes you have to be a little tactful. You know, you've got to be careful. It may have been their wife, their mother, Aunt Susie that messed up their world and created a hot mess in their world. So you got to be a little tactful. But to me, the most important thing is just being honest and being real. And everybody does respect that.
Have you ever made mistakes?
Everybody makes mistakes. The important thing is to understand that you made the mistake, recognize it, fix it, and own up to it.
How do you deal with a business that is still, I say, like bounce back and forth? It's still growing, but then it go back. Maybe they lost clients, but yet they still struggling a little, and you still continue to be with them. Why is it that you're still hanging on to those kind of people that really hasn't kicked off?
Well, there's different reasons in their world why business didn't turn out the way they thought. You know, so from my opinion, when I start seeing that they're struggling, again, I can't give any kind of financial advice, but I can look at things and know what resources I have. I do networking, so I know a lot of people in the community, and I'll try to make connections for them. If I see that there's something that could benefit them, I will try to introduce them to someone that I think could help them out. Sometimes it's plain and simple. It boils down to they didn't have a good business plan in the first place, and they need to go back and refocus. So sometimes letting them know what resources there are in the community where maybe they can refocus things. So it's trying to direct them without advising them, mm-hmm. and see what we can do to get them a little bit of communication. And then there's other businesses that no matter what you do, they're stubborn, they're pig-headed, and they just stay doing what they're doing, even though it's not giving them the results they want.
Mm-hmm. I've been involved with some bookkeepers who are very kind of judgmental. Why isn't your judgmental when it comes to the things that you see in business owners' finances?
If I was perfect, then I can judge. But as long as I'm not perfect, I'm not judging. Everybody has a different way of looking at things, and you have to accept how they are and how they view things. You may not agree with them. If it's unethical, if it's just outright wrong, then you bring it to their attention in a tactful way. If they're just making foolish mistakes, you try to build a relationship where you can say to them, Opal, don't do that again. It ain't allowed. You know, right. So you try to bring a little bit of levity in there, and you try to tell them, you know, I wouldn't do it if I were you, but it's your books. Mm-hmm. To try to help them out. But unless you are perfect and you're doing everything perfect, there's no reason for judgment.
What is one of the biggest challenges in your business that you've ever dealt with?
Ooh. Most of the time, your biggest challenge is the business owner themselves, as I mentioned before, getting them to help you help them. Aside from that, the other biggest challenge is making sure that all the pieces fall into place, and that's having the right person working with the right small business, having the right technology to go and handle that business. It's having all the right pieces to help that person completely and correctly.
How do you define what a small business is?
Small business for us is under 50 employees. Now, I prefer working with the ones that are between 1 and 10 because I feel those are the ones that are neglected. Those are the ones that don't get the resources, don't get the support they need from the community, from the institutions, etc. I feel those are the ones that are ignored. So those are the ones that I really want to help the most because I feel they need it the most.
Do you offer any training sessions or seminars?
On a case-by-case basis, as needed, I absolutely will help and teach.
Awesome. What do you define the motto of your business? How do you define that?
That's a little challenging. That's one of those things that should be right on the tip of the tongue, but isn't. But really the most important thing, and that's what I fall back on, the most important thing is being accurate and efficient. And that's what I feel we stand on. When I was thinking of doing this and was talking to my mentor and trying to just come up with a name, we sat there and we talked, and he's known me for years. And he said, Sharon, bookkeeping is a service you perform, but bookkeeping is not what you're selling. You personally are selling customer service. And that's where the name of the company came from, was at your service, because that's what I feel we are about. We are there to serve our clients however they need it.
And you also don't just serve it behind the desk, because you have the concierge. Could you explain that part of the business?
So the concierge is, there are people out there that have spent a lot of money to have software and have set up in their office a whole bookkeeping world. It doesn't help them for me to try to move that and try to pull that away from them. So what we do is we go on site and we see how their world works. The first time we go on site to someone that we know we need to work on their location is we watch how their office runs. We see how the flow is from the admin through salespeople, through services, through whatever their particular world involves, and just kind of watch the flow and see how do we fit into this to make their world better. So sometimes it's just a simple, quick, I go in for one client and all they want me to do, they've got a bookkeeper there. All they want me to do is go behind and actually do the reconciliations to make sure everything's on the up and up. It's a double check, and then make sure their sales tax is paid to the office that we are at every single week, and we create all their purchase orders. We make sure that everything's ready for them to call into their vendors. We make sure that everything is received correctly, paid correctly. But we do it around how their world works. We file their paperwork the way they understand where it is, etc.
How do you see your business in the next few years?
That is such a loaded question, because my 5-year plan was blown out of the water at month 6. But right now what I'm looking at is getting my new employee up and running, getting them with their feet underneath them, and helping them understand how we do it. They understand bookkeeping, they understand QuickBooks, but I want them to understand what our philosophy is and what we do. After that, the long-term goal is one of the CPAs that we work with a lot. He actually is expanding his company and wants to carve out a space in his office for us. So I see us having that dual location within the next 2 years.
Wow, that's amazing. You're so on it. It's just because I've known you since, 2011 when I opened my business?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, and just to see you just blossom. But I knew it anyway because you love people. And that's what it's all about, Sharon, is loving people and making them feel that they are, cherished and appreciated. You can't go wrong when you do that. It's just like the Bible tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves, and that's exactly what you're doing. You just...
Common courtesy and respect go a long way.
Yeah. Could you say that again?
You mean common courtesy and respect go a long way?
Yes.
Yes.
That is so true. Hey, could you give us some words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. The biggest thing I would say, words of wisdom for me, is don't doubt yourself. I sat many a times thinking that, again, I'll just go into this. I'll have a few clients. That's all there is. Didn't realize that I could do what I'm doing. While I sat there and preached to my daughter to believe in herself, I didn't do it myself. So surround yourself with positive people. Don't let the negative people in. We don't need them in our lives. Mm-hmm. Surround yourself with positive people and believe in yourself. And it's amazing what the world has to offer for you.
Can you share how someone can get in contact with you? Your contact information?
Okay. If anybody wants to get in contact with us, phone number is 321-610-4595, and that's our office number. We are located on Pineapple Avenue in Melbourne. It's 2425 Pineapple Avenue, Suite 208 now. We're right on the river, have a beautiful river view. And they can email accounts, ACCOUNTS, at aysbookkeeping.com.
Wow. You have definitely gave all of us some wonderful, not only wisdom, but knowledge and tools to help build our businesses. I want to just thank you, Sharon, for coming on. I really appreciate you sharing everything and working with me as well. But just letting everyone know that you're out there. And that's the whole business segment of this month. It was to let people know the businesses that's out there that is really beneficial and really help each other and everyone else. So thank you so much again for coming. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. And I just want to encourage you to check out our Talk Network Radio website for our Connect 10 magazine and continue to look and see what else, the tips and knowledge and information that can help you continue to build your life and your business. You've listened to Live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey. God bless you.